Hello and welcome to the podcast. I wanted to start off by giving everyone a warning that the topic we discuss in this episode may be triggering for some people. We talk about the state of the pandemic in 2020, and I want to make sure that you all understand we know that this is a serious situation at the time of recording. We're not trying to invalidate anyone's experience, but just listen with an open mind and an open heart. Everyone, make sure to wash your hands. Take some time right now to go within, to heal. And I wish you all the best. Please enjoy this podcast. Welcome
to the Bring Me to Life podcast.
It's time to wake up
and shine on. Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Bring Me to Life podcast. We are excited to be here creating content because it's a great time to be creating content for the internet.
Right. Online content is, people are like, I need online content right now.
Yeah, I mean, people are stuck in their homes. People's work is being transitioned to home. Kids have a lot of things to do. Cable's overrated. Everyone's on the internet.
The world, for anybody who's listening, and it's a different time, the world's on pause right now for some reason. Look at 2020 and you'll know exactly what.
2020 is a very interesting time. I feel like January lasted forever. February flew by, and now we're in mid-March with the quarantines beginning to happen. This is very interesting. But it's really exciting because I think for many of us that understand how we manifest reality, we understand that sometimes things have to fall apart before they get better.
Yeah, I definitely hear a lot of people say that. And just recently, somebody that we follow was saying if your reality's falling apart, then it's a good sign that it's going to be put back together in the best way that's going to serve you. You know, I feel like we've done a lot of inner work lately and a lot of self-love lately, that the only reason all this is happening is because we're going to another level. And already I've begun to change my diet in a big way. And so, yeah, no matter what time you're in, if you're listening to this, your reality may be falling apart, and maybe that's a sign that it's being put back together for your highest dreams and your highest joy to come into being. So I think it's important that all of us kind of, go for the ride, and at times of ascension and awakening, just going along with the ride and kind of surfing the tides of this energy that we feel is going to help you a lot. It's probably going to help you the most. Not resisting the change, not resisting the pain, the discomfort. I feel that a lot, especially physically. And I gotta say, since I've begun to, do the things that I feel will help me be healthy and kind of lean into the discomfort and just accept it, it's begun to, change my whole reality in a way where it's putting everything into much greater clarity.
I definitely have to say that I feel like I'm more in the now. So first of all, wherever you are, whenever you're listening, I want to say that I hope that you're doing okay. And I hope that your world, even if it seems like it's falling apart, that you understand that something new is supposed to come of this, because there's always meant to be change. Like, that's the one thing that's very constant is change. And it's really important to remember that that's what's happening right now. Is there's a lot of change happening in so many people's lives, especially if you're in the awakening. You're going through a Bring Me to Life type process where you're feeling a whole new lifestyle coming on. So many people have asked for a new beginning, a new lifestyle. They've asked for the world to kind of fall apart so that they can start over. People will be like, man, I really don't want to have to go to work today. I wish I could just work from home. I wish I had more time with my kids. All of those wishes that people have been throwing out into the universe, and now they happen. and people are panicking. People are having complete meltdowns. And I think I'm more scared for how people are reacting than I am the virus. And I'm not saying that I'm not scared of the virus, because let me tell you, I've had many a scary apocalyptic dream where something like fallout happens. And very much so that is scary, but the way people are reacting, I want to see more community. I want to see more people reaching out. And I'm not saying I haven't seen it, because I'm actually really proud of how much I've seen people coming together. And I hope I continue to see more of it. That's what I wish to say, is I hope I continue to see more of this coming together rather than this complete chaos that's also happening on the other spectrum.
Yeah, I'm part of multiple communities, and with Project Bring Me to Life and Bring Me to Life community and this podcast, we're connected to a lot of people, and there's a wide spectrum of people out there in our city that we travel in and get our groceries from. Like, there's a kind of a different vibe and a different mindset than the people that we're connected with elsewise, and through the Bring Me to Life community. And from all those people, a lot of them are feeling really good. And like right now, I feel really good.
Right. That's the other thing, is there's so many of us that these last few weeks, that many of us had said January lasted a lifetime. We were going through this transformation already, where we were pushing through. We were already going through this kind of breakdown of our world. And we were just kind of on the hump end of it, where we're all now starting to feel like things are falling into place. I had someone send me a meme this morning, and it was, oh, when I start feeling good, but the world starts burning. And it's like, I think that should really show for us that are doing the work, those of us that realize that somehow we're going to get through this, because that means that we've made such a push in our lives that we're transcending the world as a whole. And they always said that if we focused on fixing our own worlds and coming through on our own healing, that's how we change the world. But we have to remember that it's not just going to happen overnight. We're not just going to wake up and all these systems are broken. A lot of things that are happening now are people are going to need to pay time off. And in that pay time off, or if they don't get paid time off, they're going to have to get creative with how they make an income. Regardless of which option happens, people are going to have to follow their passion and get creative with life and coming together and how they survive.
Yeah, it's, the unknown can be scary, but I will say having faith that everything's going to work out will be great. I have something I want to say before I get, and then I'll jump into, not being afraid that you're going to lose everything. So, you were saying, on the outside, people are going crazy, but a lot of us are feeling good on the inside.
Definitely.
And that's because the way I see existence, what we do on the inside is reflected to the outside, but it takes time because of the physical delay of this reality. It takes time for your outer reality to begin to reflect what's inside of you. It's kind of like a tree, the outside of it may die, but then it takes time for the roots to kind of decay and transfer into new energy from the earth. But in a way, it's like our outer reality is kind of like those roots. It's like it takes a while for us to see the change being reflected to the outside. And that's kind of reverse, because on the inside, like that's where our depth is. But life is a paradox, and it's often weird. And so it's like, for some reason, it takes the outside longer to react to what we feel.
I actually really love that analogy or that visual that you just built, because there's a water spot that we walked to near our home where a tree fell a couple years ago, probably right around when we were transitioning from closing the shop to being more home based, because that's what we felt like was needed then, to go more inward so that we could focus on online content, which is interesting. That's what's happening with the world now. But anyway, so that tree fell and it blocked my way to a specific spot, our way to a specific spot that we really enjoyed watching water flow. And for at least the first year or so, I just didn't go back there any longer. But recently, the tree, since it's kind of in the water, like you said, is decaying, but it's taken time. It's taken at least a year for me to watch that and feel safe enough to be like, I think it's time for me to find a way to break through that tree so I can go back to that water spot. And honestly, you know, what motivated me to do it was one day you were like, it'd be really cool if we both go on a walk in the woods and we just end up at this one spot. And I was like, oh yeah? And you were like, yeah, there's this one spot that we used to go to. And I was like, oh, it's on the other side of that tree. You're like, yeah, well, I'm going to go this way. And it had nothing to do with that tree. So it was my job then, because that's kind of where I was headed anyway. I wanted to do some watercolor by the water and just kind of meditate. And I looked at that tree and I was like, it's the time. Now is the time to change this world. And I'm no longer not going to visit this spot that makes me happy. And I put my bag on, I tucked around, and I used an umbrella to like hold me up, and I broke through like a couple branches and made a path so I could get over there. And I hung out for a while, and by the time I got to the spot, I was just so happy to be in that spot again because it brought me joy. And something had blocked me. The universe had blocked me. A storm came and a tree fell, and we didn't go to that spot for a long time. And now we have an opening. And I think that's what's happening for people in the world is for so long they forgot what brought them joy. They got into this routine and this economy and this way of thinking that there was no way out. Mm-hmm. And sometimes what happens when there's no way out is the universe forces us to think of another option.
Yeah.
It forces us to.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that kind of brings me back to when people are fearful of losing everything. I put myself in a situation where I slept and lived on the streets in San Francisco for multiple weeks. And it was kind of like a way of just testing my faith with the universe, because, you know, I was putting my faith in the world around me to survive, for food, for water, for everything, to live. And it always came, and many times in magical, unexpected moments. So I kind of developed a really strong faith that no matter what happened, we would find a way to live. And as long as we can live, we can do our best with whatever situation we have. Mm. And that's sometimes all we really can do.
It's true. We just have to remember that all we can do is focus on the now and to really remember to be grateful for what we already have. I mean, everyone starts running out for toilet paper, and I'm like thinking how grateful I am that we already had a toilet paper discussion the week before, because and then I realized how American problems we are, because I was like, we didn't like the quality of our toilet paper. And so the universe forced us to get more. Well, and because of that, we didn't have to worry about the toilet paper shortage because we have already got a stock. It might not be the best quality, but the universe was like, you want to stock up early. And that's what I'm saying is the universe will give you signs in hilarious situations.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, I've used leaves and all kinds of stuff, but if I'm going to use toilet paper, I think it's good to get something that's like gentle on your butthole. And
there's also different kinds that are better for the environment. Yeah. Things like that too. So it's like, there's lots of different qualities, but it's also, speaking of quality, let's talk about quality of life for a second. I just saw a hilarious graphic on the internet. I don't know if they're called memes, if they're more informational, and honestly, who knows if this is everywhere, but it was interesting because they shared, it was like all of the empty shelves except for like the organic, vegan, vegetarian aisles. Mm-hmm. Everything else was like wiped clean, but the good quality foods. Mm-hmm.
So everybody's thinking in terms of price. Like, I need the cheapest I can get, as much as I can get.
Yeah. I saw that they were saying that people that are more focused on realizing that they're manifesting their destiny, or focusing on other things, and rather, I mean, they're investing in their like quarantine stash too. Like, yeah, we have foods that will last us and whatnot, but other people are also realizing it's a great time to invest in your creative process and your other sorts of supplies, even planning your travel for the future. There's so many other things you could be focusing on than these fear-based scrolling tactics. And I also think it's interesting that there's always some sort of epidemic happening during a political season. I'm not going to go too political, but I just think it's interesting that there's always some sort of huge major just shift in what we're supposed to be focusing on as a general country. But this is more global, so we won't discuss that here. The global interest, though, too, is that it's spreading so fast. It's taking over on a fear-based level, too. And the hysteria happens, and people, again, let's go back to the fact that people are asking for more time with friends and family and to spend time on their projects. I really hope that that's what people are going and doing rather than scrolling and feeding into the hysteria.
Yeah. I mean, just be gentle and loving with yourself. And it's a really good time if you're stuck inside to just focus on your own reality and get away from the world reality for a moment, you know? Because right now, the news, that's what the news does, is it's been like that for so long, is they push fear all the time. Fear and death is, that's all it is, really. And so, turn off the news every once in a while, go outside for a hike if you can, or just kind of focus on your world. Maybe vacuum, like do something, wipe down your counters, like clean your house up. And I feel really good. That's what we've been doing. And like I said, I feel like your outer world reflects what's going on within. So I feel like by holding these feelings of, I feel really good about life and I feel like it's headed in a great direction, then I think that's what will happen. There's a channel called Bashar, and he talks about these trains of reality, and there's different realities, and you can get on these different trains. But the further they go from the station, the farther away they get from each other, and the harder it is to go to a different, train. So with your mind and your thoughts, that's where the energy flows, and that's what begins to create your existence. So just imagine that you're protected, feel it, and you will be. Begin to feel like your world will be put back together for your highest good. The best of your todays are going to be the worst of your tomorrows, if that's what you feel.
I like that song.
That's kind of how I feel. I've been really blessed to have this opportunity to get training on how to prevent this spread of virus and get paid for it. And also, people are staying home, but I get to pick up other shifts and make bonus to save for stuff, and recently just got a job, and it's been really helpful to have that. And that's because in my mind, I knew that's what was going to happen. I was going to find the perfect thing for me. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened. And so that's I can't say it enough. Where your mind goes, energy flows. That's what's going to create your reality. So focus on feeling great, your reality aligning to your highest dreams and your highest joy, whatever you believe would bring that about. And while all this madness is going on, whatever it is, just relax, stay calm, and it will pass. Because everything will pass in time. Mm-hmm. So that's my message for all of you listening. Thank you. I love you all.
Yes. I think that's a great message. I have one little affirmation I'd like to share that I'd like to leave off with it as well.
I love affirmations.
I came across it when I was scrolling, and I was like, it'd be really good to just see something positive rather than all the negativity as I'm checking my notifications. And it was this affirmation that said, "Dear fear, I know why you're here, and I know that you're just trying to protect me. I have heard you, and I am now choosing to learn from you. You are free to go. I thank you. Much love. From us." So I hope that wherever you are, wherever you're listening, you choose to embrace what you have, to show gratitude, and to focus on your dreams and to focus on the future you wish to have, rather than the fear and the hysteria and the chaos.
I think this is a really powerful time for creating that.
It is.
Something's happening where there's this huge portal opening up where we can create so powerfully right now.
I agree. It's very, very important to channel all of your emotions in a beautiful way, whether that's through writing, whether it's through creating, dancing, spending time with friends, making memories, family, laughing, giving hope to others, just checking in. There's a lot of people that I know aren't okay and are losing hope. So please just send it love wherever you can. Embrace what you have. And just focus on something that you want to see happen. It doesn't have to be scary. We're going to focus on projects that we've been wanting to create and share with all of you. That includes our Patreon, our website, and just creating the community that we wish to see. And we would love to hear from you. And while you're out there and you need something to uplift you, go ahead and check out any of the previous episodes. There's lots of amazing people out there doing amazing things. We have a lot of amazing interviews, and just hope that you're all spending your time wisely.
And that's bringmetolife.com.
Bringmetolife.com with the number 2. Reach out to us. We have the Bring Me to Life community on Facebook. We are PBM2L on Instagram, Twitter, and Project Bring Me to Life on a lot of social medias, including YouTube. So I think that this is a great episode.
Yeah, shorty but goody. And that's probably good, you know? So, love you all. Stay safe out there. Stay focused on all your best stuff. And know that you are protected.
Stay awake, shine on always. Bye.
For many of us, spirituality is just the quest to find essence or true meaning and to really just connect with a higher consciousness.
Connecting with your spirituality is very important in this life. By becoming mindful of all of it, you can realize where you are and if that is leading you to where you want to go.
Listen to the little simple things, because it's those little simple things that are going to shift you vibrationally in such a way that will prepare you to become very intuitively minded and ready to step forward on the next part of your path.
I hope you can feel the love that's inside you, it's inside me, that connects us.
Thanks for shining on with us.